Welcome, quilters. Let's look at a new tool today. We're going to look at the new nested teardrop. So this tool, as you can see, is nested, and it is going to give me 3 different sizes. When I turn my tool around, the inside wand around, I'm going to achieve the point that I'm looking for. So in the past, we had teardrops, but we went around the outside of them. And when you go around the outside of a point, you never get a point. As I wanted tool stitching designs that gave me points, I had to reinvent my teardrop. And being the type of person I was, I didn't just want one size, I wanted multiple sizes. So this is the first size of teardrop we can make. It's the smallest. Remember, you'll be 1/4 inch on the inside. Then when we take out this piece, we're going to have a second teardrop. There's the medium size. And the third size, quite nice and large. There's the third size. So what size is it going to make? The teardrop is going to make a stitched teardrop, small, medium, and large. And there's lots you can do with it. Over my right shoulder, you will see a design using all the teardrops on an 8-point grid. I think it looks kind of neat. All right, let's start playing with some designs. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a 8-point block design using the middle teardrop. So I'm taking out my small, and I just set it up here out of my way. And I'm going to use some tape to help hold everything together. What I'm looking to do this time round is I'm going to create a design where a kind of a flower petal design. I want to put the point on the center. So I've started by using my 8-point stencil and drawing in my designs. I've used a white line marker. This is the type of white line marker from Boheen that is going to go on clear, dry white, and with steam, the lines will go away. So we're going to start by the foot inside my template, and now I'm going to drop my foot, line it up, and drop my needle. Bring my needle up, bring up the bobbin thread. So now I'm going to bring my template so that it is touching the foot. I have a straight line and a straight line here. I'm going to line them up, my easy to see lines, on the line that I drew on the quilt. And we are going to stitch 1 teardrop. I'm going to stop up here real quick and get those threads out of my way and continue around. Now I'm going to use the rotate method for creating the block design. So I'm going to rotate to the next line. Again, lining up my easy to see lines with the lines that are drawn on the quilt. Rotate again and keep going. And the last one. All right, and now you can see that I have a nice 8-point design. There's lots we can do from here. If you are a freehander or embellishment, there's all kinds of things you can do with this. This is just one option. This is the medium size. Let me show you some variations. So here is the one I just did on the smaller size, and you can see how the point is to the middle. This one is the point to the outside, which means I line the curve up on the center. Okay, now this one, we played with the tool with the point to the center on north, south, east, and west, and on the diagonals, we pointed out. So, north, south, east, west, the point is to the center. And the diagonals, we turned it around, and the point is to the outside, and the curve is on the center. And this one right here, I played with overlapping the center. So the center is here, and the tool is going across the center. What I did was line up one of these lines on the lines as I went around. So I just changed what I used for a registration line. That's how you can get variations in a design. All right, let's look at a couple of more variations. Medium design, the curve is on the center. This is the one we just stitched with the curve outside and the point to the center. But here is a simple variation where as I stitched the medium size one, I switched to the little one and threw the little one into the top. And then I finished the design. You can get a nice little variation, kind of reminds me of peacock feathers. And this variation right here was playing with all the different sizes. So on the north, south, east, and west, I used the smallest and the medium. On the diagonals, I used the medium and the large. Much different design. And again, right over there, you will see the 8-point design using all 3 sizes. Now, that's what the tool was created to do. In playing with it, I discovered it would do a few more things. So let's go play with some of those. In playing with the tool, I found other designs that really kind of impressed me. So these tools here, the first one that we're going to play with is these 2 designs, and it is using a portion of the template. As you know, when I teach, I always tell you there is absolutely nothing that says you have to use the whole tool. Use as much or as little of the tool as you want. So let's see how we're going to do those. All right, so let's look a little closer at this tool about all the marks that are on it. So these are, down at the bottom, there are 3 lines, a large baseline, a medium baseline, and a small baseline. And what each of these will do is this will tell you where your curve will end up on a line. So if you line up on a seam, you know that the curve will stitch to that seam. Okay? Up here, we have S1, S2, and S. So S is going to tell you where the point is going to stop. Okay, the point. S1 and S2 are going to show you a couple of different repeats. We're gonna show you how those work. M, M1, and M3. M is the top of the point. M1 is a single repeat or overlap, and M3 is actually a 3 overlap. And then there is L way up here, and L1 and L3, same as M. But let's actually look and see what they do so you understand all that. So let's get out. I'm going to work with the large one first. Now you will note, as I take out the various tools, you will see that the markings stay for the tool that they are on. So you always can just look right up against the tool to know which set of lines you are on. So, first things first, we're going to use the large baseline, and I have drawn a line on my fabric, and then we're going to start with L1. Now you could always use a line up here and line up with the L1 up here. I just happen to prefer a baseline. I'm going to drop my foot and drop my needle. So now what I want to do is stitch from the right side of my template all the way around to the left side of my template. And I'm stopping across from L1. Okay, and as you can see here, I am lined up. That curve just hit that bottom baseline perfectly. So now I'm going to slide my template, line up on my large baseline and against my foot with the L1, and repeat. So now you can see what the L1 refers to. It is a single overlap of the teardrop design. So each one overlaps once. Okay, now let's take a look at what the L3 will do. I'm still going to line up my large baseline on the bottom. But now I'm going to start up here on L3. Again, we're going to stop opposite of L3. We're going to slide the template, making sure we stay lined up. Now, you will note we didn't slide over as much, which means these stitches are going to be much, much closer together. Modern quilters, I herald you to come take a look at this. As you can see, you have multiple designs of the same one inside of each wing. We just decided to call it L3. We weren't going to count them all. I kept getting lost, to be quite frank. So L3 just really means multiples, more than one overlap. How many there are, I keep getting lost. I can't figure it out. It's not important. I like the design. So let's take a closer look at that. So this is the large teardrop using to create this lovely design. This is L1. You can see one overlap, and this is L3. I really don't know how many overlap, but I love the design, and it is a perfect way. This is absolutely a perfect way to showcase how templates will let you be even, consistent, and repeatable. So now I was playing with these designs, and I went through my head and said, oh, I wonder what would happen if I added flip to slide. Let's take a look at that. So for this one, I would like to start with the small one. And again, I'll show you the difference between S1 and S2. But for this, I am going to use flip with slide. So previously, we just slid across the line. And you're also going to see that instead of using the baseline, I'm going to use the actual line here. And that is because this line isn't so much signifying the top of my teardrop as it is signifying the center of the design. Okay? So once again, I have my bobbin thread up, and we're going to start. And again, I'm going to go from the S1 on this, in this case, the top, to the S1 on the bottom. And I'm keeping that S1 line lined up with the registration, with this line on my fabric. I'm going to stop on the S1. Now, to flip, I want a mirror design, but I'm going to flip it by just basically rotating around here. All right, and again, I line up my S1, but now I want to be on the top. So we had stopped down here, but now I'm on the top. Okay, so S1. You're always stitching from the top to the bottom. So flip it around and slide it down. So how many times have you wanted to do this absolutely lovely design, tried to do it freehand, and come away going, oh my goodness, it is perfect, it is nice and evenly spaced, and it is just so lovely. So now let's go up one more step, and let's do one more. Let's check out that S2 and see what it will do. And when these lines got all really close to each other and I realized it was going to be hard to tell them apart, we have made a new easy to see line So the original easy to see lines were a set of 3 dashes. When I get lines that are too close to each other and I need to distinguish between them, we are using 3 dots. It's the same 3 colors, and so they're still easy to see, but it helps distinguish when you've got the lines, if they get too close to each other, which one is the one you're going for. So S2 is a series of dots. All right, we're lining up S2 on the registration line on the fabric, and we're going to go from S2 on the top to S2 on the bottom. We're going to flip and slide. Get that piece out of there. And you can see the lovely design it's going to create. It's absolutely wonderful on quilts, would work great on optical illusion quilts. Let me show you what the 2 larger sizes will do. The medium one is right here, and this is S3 for the medium. And the large S1 is right here, and S3 is right here. The latest design that came about because I was looking for a border design, something that was maybe just a little bit faster to do. This little one right here. Now, to do the little one, it really is pretty simple, and I treat it a great deal like I treat my circles. So if you know, when I do a border design with a circle, I do 1 complete circle and then half again. So now what we did, if I wanted this design though, in order to be continuous line, I have to do again, just like the circle, 1 complete circle and half again. So using my little guy, I did a little one. I flipped it around and did 1 complete circle and half again. And you can see how I created this design. And then I played with doing all 3. I would do all 3 designs and then do the other way around. And if I'm going to repeat this all the way, then I'm going to do half again to be able to start the second one. But in doing this, I said, what happens if I overlap it so that I can get an oval down here? And did I find a lovely design? So let's look at how we do that one. All right, so I have myself started. I've got, again, I'm on a seam or perhaps the center line of a border design. It would really look great there. What I'm going to do is 1 complete teardrop and then come back down and stop at this line that I've marked on the tool. Now, this is where I like it. I did a bit of experiment with a couple of different designs, and who knows, maybe we'll eventually put that in, but you need to experiment yourself to find what you like. I basically found the point where it starts in on that curve, where it's no longer going out and starts in on that curve. So now I'm going to do 1 complete teardrop, and then I'm going to go back down and stop at that line that I have marked. Okay, now I'm going to flip the tool around, but now I'm going to again line up on that line and then my center line as well. Now think about it when you go to do this, because you don't want to be doing 1 complete teardrop and 3/4. You really want to just be doing 1 complete teardrop and back down. So if I go this way, if I come down, around, and then I just will be repeating this portion of it. If you go the other way, if you start going around that curve, then you're going to either have to turn yourself going the other direction or do 3/4. So just think about it before you start. Flip the tool around. So as you can see, we have a lovely border design. There's lots of people who are really keen on doing this. I'm looking into figuring out where this line will be for the other sizes. But you know me, I never can stop. So I decided what would happen if I put it into a block design. That is a 6-point grid, and you can see the lovely design here. And the latest I've been thinking about is what happens if I don't do this side of it, if I just come down and around, come down and around. So as I've always said, play, because you never know what kind of designs you're going to find. The teardrop is available in all 3 thicknesses, 1/8" acrylic for the very low shank machines, Brothers, Singers, Pfaff machines, the Viking machines. I have the 3/16, some high shank machines and some low shank machines can use these, and of course the 1/4", which your long armors and some high shank home machines are going to use. If you have a question about which thickness of template you should use, please, I've put out an FAQ called Which Thickness is for You, and you can check it out on my YouTube channel. I hope you ladies have fun quilting, and gentlemen, I always forget we have a few of you out there. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call and keep an eye out. I am working on the step-by-step instructions. Thank you and happy quilting.